Renting versus buying a home in Fernie, BC. Buyers beware. What if renting in Fernie right now is actually the smarter financial move? And what if buying a home here in 2026 could quietly set you back hundreds of thousands of dollars if you get the timing wrong? You've heard it your whole life. Renting is throwing your money away. Buying builds wealth and equity. Get into the market as soon as you can. But in a mountain town like Fernie, where prices, migration, and interest rates don't behave like Calgary or Vancouver, the answer isn't that simple. Today we're going to break it down. Real numbers, real scenarios, real risk. Buyers, you need to beware. If we haven't met yet, my name is Craig Bell, and I've been helping buyers and sellers navigate the Fernie market for over 2 decades. I've lived here since the 80s. And through mining cycles, I've experienced it all: Alberta waves, ski booms, COVID surges, and now this high rate reset environment. And right now, Fernie is not behaving the way most people assume. So before you renew your lease or before you jump into a mortgage, let's actually talk and look at what makes sense here. So here's the real question. In today's Fernie market, does renting protect you or does buying position you? Because the answer depends on you and your timeline, your income, your interest rates that you're able to get, and what this market does next. So the Fernie market reality check, let's talk about some numbers here. In Fernie right now, median detached home prices are hovering around the mid $800,000 range. Townhouses are sitting roughly in the $550,000, $650,000, even $750,000 range. Entry-level condos are typically in that $350,000 to $450,000, $550,000 range, depending on its location and age. Average rents, 2-bedroom condos, anywhere from $22,000 all the way up to $3,400, $3,600 a month. 3-bedroom homes, $4,000 to $5,000 a month, depending on condition and location. Interest rates, most buyers today are qualifying around that 5 to 6 range. So let's break this down. If you buy a home for $800,000, let's go right to the start. You buy a home, $800,000 with 20% down. That's 20% of 800 is $160,000. Your mortgage is now going to be $640,000. Your monthly payment is going to be 5.5%, roughly $3,900 to $4,200 a month. Now you got to add property taxes, insurance, maintenance, utilities. You're basically at $4,800 to $5,200 per month all in. And that is not a small difference compared to renting. So here's your pros of renting, very specific to Fernie. Renting in Fernie right now offers you flexibility. This is a lifestyle town. People move here for ski seasons, remote work experiments, short-term career moves, and if you're not 100% committed to staying 5+ years, renting will actually protect you. So let's talk risk protection here. If prices soften 5 to 10% in the next 12 to 24 months, renters don't feel that. Buyers do. Let's talk about cash flow preservation. If your renting saves you $1,500 a month versus ownership, that's $18,000 a year. Holy cow. And you can use that money to invest, save, hold as security. So now in a volatile rate environment, liquidity matters. So your cons of renting, now here's the trade-off. Fernie has long-term supply constraints. Land is limited, development is controlled, and desirable neighborhoods don't actually multiply. Historically, over long timelines, property here trends upwards. And if you rent for 10 years and the market rises steadily, you've missed out. You've missed out on appreciation, mortgage pay down, leverage gains. And in Fernie, leverage has historically rewarded long-term holders. Let's talk about the pros of buying. Buying here gives you scarcity advantage. Fernie is geographically boxed in. There's mountains all around us and a river, and that matters long term. There is no urban sprawl in Fernie. Lifestyle security. There's no landlord selling, no eviction for personal use, no sudden rent spikes, forced savings. Let's talk about every payment reduces your principal slowly but surely. And even in flat markets, you're going to be building some equity. Now, your cons of buying, this is where people get into trouble. Short-term volatility. If you buy and must sell within 2 to 3 years, you're going to expose yourself to some volatility risk. Transaction costs alone can erase your gains. So pretend for a second you bought your home and in 2 years you had to sell it and the house only went up 20, 30, 40, 50 grand maybe. When you sell, you're between your commissions, fees, your lawyers, your closing costs, it's going to eat into that money you thought you were going to make. So number 2, maintenance in a mountain climate, snow loads, roof wear, freeze thaw damage, older homes. Maintenance here is real. Opportunity costs, that $160,000 down payment, it's locked up in that home. If interest rates drop and markets shift, liquidity matters, and you may want to have had that money in your hand to take advantage of those things. So what most people get wrong. So here's the myth. Renting is throwing money away. No, it's not. Renting is buying flexibility, and sometimes flexibility is worth more than equity. The second myth is buying always builds wealth. Well, not if you buy at the peak, or you overextend, or you're forced to sell early. You ignore the maintenance realities, and in Fernie, timing and timeline matter more than ideology. So who should rent in Fernie? Well, here you go. Rent. If you're going to be here less than 3 to 5 years, you're testing the lifestyle, you work a seasonal job, or you don't have 6 months of reserves, or you're unsure about long-term commitment to living here more than 5 to 7 years. So who should buy in Fernie? Well, buy if you're planning to put down some roots and you plan to stay here 5 to 10 plus years, and you can handle the maintenance and all the snow and everything else that comes with living here. And you have some financial cushion. And finally, you understand the market cycle, because long term, Fernie has historically rewarded patience and purchasing and just sticking in the market. So here's what I see. If rates hold steady or drop slightly, stability returns. Slow appreciation resumes, and if inventory increases significantly, buyers are going to gain some leverage, price growth pauses, and if Alberta migration continues, demand stays supported. Fernie isn't a boom and bust condo market, it's a lifestyle-driven, supply-constrained mountain town. And that matters huge in the long term. So here's Practical Craig going to give you some practical advice. These are just my thoughts, not yours. Just pay attention. So before you decide, you need to calculate the true monthly ownership costs. Compare it honestly to the rent. Factor in your timeline. Stress test your own personal income. Build a reserve fund. This decision isn't an emotional decision. It needs to be strategic. So is renting throwing money away? Not necessarily. Is buying overrated? No, not if you understand the timeline. And in Fernie, the real mistake isn't renting or buying. It's making the wrong move at the wrong time. And if you want deeper breakdowns on Fernie's market, pricing, neighborhoods, updates, market, all that kind of stuff, or whether your buying makes sense for you specifically, watch the next video. I got a bunch of videos in here that will pique your interest and help you out. Buyers beware. We'll talk to you the next time.